Hey, what's up you guys? Putting a trailer hitch on your Subaru Crosstrek can take you to some really fun places like camping, bike riding, can even tow a U-Haul trailer to just about anywhere in North America. Come on, let's break down this real easy hitch install.
You will need the tools seen here to complete this installation.
Okay guys, right out of the box, this is our hitch here. It's a 2-inch receiver. You can see that the attachment points are here and here, and then also on the other side here and here. These will mount to the frame, and I'll go over a little bit the hardware that's provided by the hitch manufacturer. You have a 1/2-inch carriage bolt that sits in a carriage plate, just like this. That will go on the most forward hitch attachment point, just like that. And then we have the smaller 7/16 carriage bolt and carriage plate, and that will go on the most rear attachment point. Okay, this is our forwardmost attachment point, and then our rearmost attachment point. We don't have to worry about this plug here. And the attachment points are covered by plugs here. We just simply pull them out and remove them. Okay, we're going to do the same thing at the driver's side. This is our forwardmost attachment point here. And we'll just remove that plug. And then we're going to skip the middle plug here and go to the most rear attachment point here. Okay, so now we need to get our hardware through the frame, and we'll start with our carriage plate. And you can see that this hole is not big enough for it to fit through. This will be our access hole. So what we'll need to do is make a small little notch here. That'll allow us to push our hardware through the frame. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now to make our little notch in this pre-existing hole here, you can use anything from a grinder to a file. Today I'm going to be using an air saw. Okay, now we'll check the bolt to make sure that goes through. You can see that it does. Okay, now we're ready to put our hardware into the frame, and we'll do that by using the provided fish wire bolts. Okay, so the hitch manufacturer provides us with a fish wire tool. A smaller one for the 7/16 bolt and a larger one for the 1/2-inch bolt. Since we are going to be starting at the rear, we're going to go ahead and start with the 7/16 bolt and put that in first. Okay, so we're going to start by going through the attachment hole first and then pushing it down towards our access hole. I'll just reach my hand up there and our finger and try to feel for it and grab it and help it down, just like that. Now we'll go ahead and get our hardware and just screw it onto the coil spring there. Okay, now we can go ahead and push the carriage plate in first. Okay, and then we'll put the head of the bolt through. Now that we have the hardware inside the frame, we'll just simply pull on this fish wire tool and it'll come right out of our attachment hole just like that. We'll go ahead and reverse fish wire the 1/2" bolt through the access hole here. And we're simply going to start by just threading on the bolt to the coiled spring part of the fish wire tool. And then we'll just push our hardware up and then pull straight back down. Okay, just like that. Okay, so we're on the passenger side and we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing. We're going to cut a little slot here so that we can put our hardware into the frame. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with our smaller 7/16 bolt lead. Push it through our attachment hole. Put our finger up here and feel for it to come through. Okay, got it. And we can go ahead and put our hardware on there. Okay, then we'll just push our hardware up into the hole. And we're just going to pull down on this wire and it should come right through the attachment hole. Now we'll do the 1/2" reverse fish wire on the most forward hole there. We're going to put our hardware together first. Okay, now we can just push it up into the frame. And just pull straight back down. Just like that. Now we're ready to put our hitch into place. Okay, so we're ready to put our hitch into place. Today I'll be using a U-Haul exclusive hitch jack to help me out. If you don't have one of these, you'll need to get an extra set of hands. The hitch can get pretty heavy. So basically, when you're putting the hitch up into place, it is going to go up and over the tailpipe here. So I have it angled up and going towards the front of the vehicle. And as I'm going up, I'm trying to line up the hitch bolts that are through the frame and making sure that I don't push them through as I'm putting the hitch up. Okay, now that I have the hitch leveled on the frame, the bolts are coming through. We have one last step before we start bolting it down. This is a spacer plate that's provided by the hitch manufacturer. It does go in between the hitch and the frame. The bolt will drop down through this hole here. So what I'm going to do is just lower the hitch a little bit, slide that in there, and then raise the hitch again. We'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, and then we'll just repeat the same thing on the passenger side. Okay, so now we're back at the driver's side. We have the bolts down through the frame, through our spacer plate, and through the hitch. Now we can go ahead and put our provided nuts on the bolts that are through the frame. Again, there's a larger one, which is 1/2 inch, and a smaller one, which is 7/16. We're going to start with the 1/2 inch, the larger one, the most forward bolt. Careful not to push our hardware back into the frame. We're just going to thread it on and get it hand tight here. Then we'll go ahead and take the smaller 7/16 and go to our most rear hole here. Okay, and we'll go ahead and repeat those same steps on the passenger. Okay, so now with all of our hardware in place, we're going to go ahead and torque all the bolts down to the manufacturer specs. And to get to the most rear bolts here, I am going to be using a 6-inch extension with a swivel and an 11/16 socket here. Okay, we'll do the same thing on the passenger. Okay, and for our remaining 1/2 inch bolts, we're going to switch over to a 1/2 inch socket and a 6. Okay. Okay, with our hitch installed, we'll go over some important measurements for you. From the ground to the top of the inside of the receiver tube is going to be 13.5 inches. And from the pin and clip hole to the rear edge of the bumper is going to be 2.5 inches. The edge of your hitch sits flush with the edge of the bumper, so it gives it a really nice clean look. Thank you for watching our video. Have fun, be safe.
To learn more about the products seen in this video, or to schedule an installation by U-Haul Hitch Professional, visit us online today at uhaulhitches.com.